So tell me about what is unique and special about Nutanix.
All right. So I'm going to go backwards before I go forwards. I do realize that some people might be, tuning into this and for the first time didn't catch our one that we went before. But real quick, the world and virtualization has changed in a forceful way. And it changed because of Broadcom's acquisition, not just of VMware. VMware's been acquired before by Dell at one point in time and other things, and
Sure.
nothing changed. But in this particular case, they changed the world dramatically. And if you haven't felt it yet, you will. In fact, I just had a conversation this week with someone for the first time that goes, well, wait a minute, I bought perpetual licenses. I don't understand. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness, I thought we've gone through the market on all this, but so there are still quite a bit of people that are paying it because it's easier to stay with something that you know and it works, and we'll just budget more money for it because it's the one to use. There's also people that have said, okay, well, we didn't have time to evaluate anything else, so we'll just go ahead and kind of kick the can down the road and pay for 1 year, and yet we're going to evaluate and figure out some way to change going forward. The good news is it has, in a sense, forced people to look at their infrastructure and really, are they doing the right thing at the right time? Just because the VMware stack that they have in place today, that was built or put in place, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years ago, if it works, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But now they're forced to look at, okay, are there better alternatives in the
Hmm.
current state of IT, right? So
Yes.
Nutanix has been around for a while. It's not some new name that just kind of came out of nowhere. They cut their teeth on VDI originally because it was a nice way to scale compute storage and the needs for, as you would for a very linear expansion. So that was the 10 years ago frame, 10, 12 years ago. I don't work for Nutanix,
Hmm.
so don't, quote me on some exact dates and things like that. But they were a very viable alternative. Sometimes that linear scalability made it difficult for them to enter into the VMware virtualization and server market, even though they have a hypervisor that's built in. I'll put in air quotes. It's hard to see when I've got the blur on, but air quotes that it's free, but it's included. But it's a very, very robust hypervisor. Uh, the problem is that you couldn't scale pieces and parts. If I'm in a server environment, I might have something that's really going nuts on storage, but I had to buy another brick, if you will, another node that had compute along with it, and might have driven up my VMware pricing even if I was going to run, which you could do at the time, run VMware on Nutanix. So they have a very viable place in the market, but now they've taken it to a whole nother that sounded really bad, to a whole nother level, but I'm going to leave it in there anyway. And what it is I've looked at it for, hey, is this an alternative to VMware from a hypervisor standpoint? Absolutely it is it an alternative? But deeper than that, Nutanix has been proliferating quite well for the last 10 years, growing, scaling, uh, getting into more. And if you think about it, there's a reason beyond just the hypervisor for doing that. If you just went hypervisor for hypervisor, there's not necessarily a Nutanix thing there. But what it
That
is,
wasn't their claim to fame. Yeah, for sure.
if you take a look at what it is now, and even myself having to be more immersed in these conversations with the opportunities that are out there, they don't even talk about the VMware issue or the VMware problem. They talk about, hey, we've now built this with ransomware detections built into it. We've got advanced notifications of things that are all security. So they've gone deep into the security stack, which is what you would expect and hope from a company that's growing in this IT marketplace. And then beyond security, they've delved into this hybrid cloud, and they've really embraced it. Whether you're using, want to use, or even care which one it is, whether it's AWS or Microsoft, they've got platforms now that run in the cloud environment. So now you can run a Nutanix and replace your on-prem if that's the case. You put in the Nutanix, you can actually run either a vaulting into the cloud, or you can run production so that you can flip over to the cloud in the event of DR. So way beyond what the hypervisor does to you. Nutanix
Yeah.
is an extremely viable option for many types of businesses, sizes from small school districts up to media and entertainment. I mean, it's a wide range for Nutanix. The other thing that is big is that, yeah, the hypervisor is the level that most people use of what VMware offers. Meaning you're not having to take any shortcuts or, oh, it doesn't do vMotion or it doesn't do this. It does all
It does everything.
it does all
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah.
We just have never,
Yeah.
as most users in, the country, really haven't taken a deep look at it because, once again, we've got VMware, it's in place. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So, but now that you're forced into really evaluating if VMware is the best solution for you going forward. Now that you kind of have to, now that the companies like Nutanix can not only talk about their hypervisor, but all the other stuff that they do. Because you and I, Nathan, when you and I are into drawing on the whiteboards and coming up with solutions for clients we don't draw anything today that doesn't include something to do with the cloud, even if you're an on-premise, thing. We don't draw anything that doesn't have anything to do with security, because that's what we're living around. If the fact is that we can look at a solution like Nutanix and it also includes my hypervisor cost, ooh, you got
Yeah.
something there. I would not
Yeah.
suggest Nutanix necessarily straight one for one replacement if you just last year went out and refreshed all your hardware and
Yep.
spent, how many ever hundreds of thousands on new storage and new servers. Nutanix does run as a software on top of any major manufacturer platform. So it's not like you have to buy Nutanix hardware, which is basically an OEM white box, because Nutanix will also run just as effectively on Dell servers and just as effectively on HPE servers. So, and then their relationship that they have now with Microsoft, and running Nutanix in the cloud and having that ubiquitous relationship just makes it something compelling for everybody to talk about.